Hello students. Today I will start with the chapter number 7, structural organization in the animals. You have already studied about anatomy in plant, that what is tissue, and here we will discuss about the tissues which are present in the animals. So in this chapter we will start with the introduction. As you know that in case of unicellular organism like in the amoeba, all the life process like the digestion, respiration, excretion, reproduction, all the process occurs through this single cell. But when we talk about the multicellular organism, in case of multicellular organism, for all these life process, different group of cells are present, and this different group of cells are known as tissue. So in case of animal, the tissues we will discuss. You already studied in anatomy chapter that the plant has two type of tissues. One is meristematic, another is permanent. But in case of animals, there are four type of tissues. In animal, it is four type of tissues. First one is epithelial tissues. Second one is connective tissues. Third one is muscular tissues or the muscles, and the fourth one is neural tissues. In case of animal, there are four type of tissues. One is epithelial tissue, second one is connective tissue, third one is muscular tissue, and the fourth one is neural tissue. We will discuss in all about that, but first we will start with the epithelial tissue. First one is epithelial tissue. Epithelial tissues. Epithelial tissues forms the lining of the body organs. Epithelial tissues forms the lining of the tissues, lining of the organs, body organs, and it is of two type. Epithelial tissues are of two type. One is simple epithelial tissues, another is compound epithelial tissues, or it is also known as stratified epithelial tissues. The difference in between the simple epithelial tissues and the complex or the compound or the stratified epithelial tissues is the simple epithelial tissues is made up of single layer of cell, while the compound epithelial tissues are made up of multiple layer of cells. It is multi-layered cells. So these are the basic differences between these two. But simple epithelial tissues again are of three type on the basis of shape. The simple epithelial tissues are of three type. One is simple squamous epithelium. Second one is cuboidal epithelium. And third one is columnar. So simple squamous, cuboidal and columnar epithelium cells. So we will discuss one by one about these three tissues. First one is simple squamous epithelium. Simple squamous epithelium. Simple, you know the meaning of simple. Simple means the tissue is made up of single layer of cell. Squamous means flat cells. So it is known as flat and it is single layer. So the simple squamous epithelium are the single layered flat cells. So we will draw the cell like this. These are the flattened cells and it is present on this basement membrane. This is the nucleus. These are the nucleus and these are the flattened cells. So simple squamous epithelium are structurally like this. These are the structure of simple squamous epithelium. It contains flat cells. Where it is present? Occurrence. When we talk about the presence, where the simple squamous epithelium tissues are present, it forms the lining of blood vessels and it forms the lining of alveoli in lungs. So the presence of simple squamous epithelium is in blood vessels and in the alveoli of the lungs, because it is a thin layer. Because of its thin nature, it is very much comfortable for diffusion process. The substances which are present here, if it want to go towards the other side, if it is single layer, then it can go to the other side. So the lining of blood vessels, which are very narrow, and the alveoli, it is also very narrow, like you can see here. This is the blood vessel. Lungs alveoli. In the lungs, the last part of the lungs having alveoli like this. So it is very thin layer. You know that during the breathing process we take gases which contain oxygen and other gases also, but majority of oxygen gas. And in our blood, the RBC cells contain oxygen and carbon dioxide. We during the respiration or the breathing process, what happened? This oxygen diffuse into this blood, and the excess of CO2 diffuse into the lung alveoli again, which is breathed out during the exhalation process. So for this type of diffusion, the simple squamous epithelium is ideal. So the function of simple squamous epithelium is it helps in diffusion. So this is about simple squamous epithelium. Structurally, it is flattened cells. It is present in the lining of blood vessels and the alveoli of the lungs, and the function is diffusion. Now we will talk about second, that is simple cuboidal epithelium. The second category is simple cuboidal epithelium. Simple cuboidal epithelium. As the name suggests, cuboidal, so it is cube shaped cells. It is cube shaped cells. Cube shaped cells. And due to the name simple, you can know it is single layered. It is single layered. So we can draw these cells. This is the basement membrane, and on this basement membrane these cube shaped cells are present. These cube shaped cells are known as simple cuboidal epithelium. And in this cube shaped cells, the nucleus is somewhat larger as compared to the simple squamous epithelium. These are the nucleus which are present in this cuboidal cells, cube shaped cells. These are the nucleus and these are the cube shaped cells. So these are the structures. It is about the structure. Now we will talk about the location where these type of cuboidal cells are present. Occurrence. This type of simple cuboidal epithelium is present in it forms the lining of ducts of glands like the pancreas, pancreatic gland, and it forms the lining of tubular part of nephron. Okay, so ducts of glands, not only the pancreatic glands or other glands, and the tubular part of the nephron. You can see this is the pancreatic gland, this is pancreas, and this is the duct. This one is the duct of pancreas. So this type of cuboidal cells are present in this duct. This duct, lining of this duct, contain the simple cuboidal epithelium. And the lining of nephron, you know the nephron. This is the nephron in which I have drawn the Bowman's capsule, and after that there is presence of PCT, proximal convoluted tubule, and then you know this is loop of Henle, and after the loop of Henle you have DCT, and then collecting duct. So a tubular part is made by this PCT and DCT part. PCT means proximal convoluted tubule, and this is DCT means distal convoluted tubule. The lining of PCT and DCT are formed by this simple cuboidal epithelium. So you can easily find out the function of these cuboidal cells, because in case of pancreas the function is secretion, so it performs the function of secretion. Along with that, in case of PCT and DCT, it is involved in the absorption process, so the next function is absorption. So the simple cuboidal epithelium involved in the function of secretion and absorption. I want to add one more point in the simple cuboidal epithelium, that at some places in the simple cuboidal, if this is a cuboidal cell, at some places it may show this type of finger like projections. This is known as microvilli. This is known as microvilli. So this microvilli helps in absorption. It helps in absorption because it increases the surface area for the absorption. So it is present in PCT part, proximal convoluted tubule of the nephron. So okay, this is the simple cuboidal epithelium. The next is simple columnar epithelium. The next one is simple columnar epithelium. As the name suggests, simple means it is single layered cells, columnar means it is column shaped cells. Column shaped cells means it is tall and slender. Means like this. If this is the basement membrane, this is the simple columnar epithelium. Long and slender, thin. And in this type of epithelium tissues, the nucleus is present at the base. The nucleus is present at the base region. This is the simple columnar epithelium. These are the nucleus. Okay. So this type of tissues are present in, when we talk about the occurrence, it is present, it forms the lining of the stomach and the intestine, means the digestive tract, most of the part in case of inner lining of stomach and intestine. Structure is tall and slender. Occurrence, the position of these columnar cells are, it forms the lining of stomach and intestine. And you know, in case of stomach and intestine, various digestive glands are present and the digested food get absorbed. So the function of columnar epithelium is again same as of the cuboidal cell, that is absorption and secretion, because the digestive juices are secreted from these cells. These are the cells. Some cells becomes modified and forms and produce its secretion, and also some involved in the absorption process. So its function is secretion and absorption. Okay, this is simple columnar epithelium cells. Similarly, as we have seen in case of cuboidal, that its free surface forms the microvilli. Similarly, in this case also, at some places it forms the microvilli, and again it increases the absorptive surface area. Okay. One more thing which I want to add. Either it is cuboidal or the columnar cell. At some places either in the cuboidal or columnar cell, the free surface is modified and having this hair-like structures present on them. These hair-like structures are known as cilia. So there it is known as ciliated cuboidal or ciliated columnar epithelium cells. So what is the function of this cilia? In case of animals, this cilia continuously it moves up and down, so it helps in conduction of some substances. First, you have to know that where it is present. Its occurrence is in our respiratory tract, like in the bronchioles. It is present in the bronchioles, as well as it is present in the reproductive tract. In the female, it is present in fallopian tube. So in case of respiratory tract and in case of reproductive tract, the ciliated columnar cells or the cuboidal cells are present, and it continuously moving in upward direction, so that the things which present in between, they can move. During the respiration, we inhale the gases, but along with the gases, we also inhale the dust particles, the microorganism, which can pass through our respiratory tract. What happens in our respiratory tract, mucus secreting glands are also present, so the dust particle and the microorganisms get stuck into them. Along with that, if we draw the respiratory tract, in case of bronchioles are present somewhat. This is the trachea, these are the lungs, and when it bifurcate, it is known as bronchia, and the fine tubules are known as bronchioles. In that tubules, I will draw here so that you can understand the thing. These columnar cells are present like this, and it contains cilia. These are the cilia. This cilia continuously moving upward. So if any dust particle come inside, the mucus get trapped. Mucus secreting cells are present here, so it will trapped with this mucus, and these ciliated cells, when continuously moving upward, it will expel the dust particle outside. Similarly, in the fallopian tube, this is the fallopian tube. Here, from the ovary, when the egg is releases and taken over by the this fallopian tube, here some again ciliated columnar cells are present, which helps in conduction of this egg cell from fallopian tube towards the uterus. So it continuously moving and helps in conduction of mucus or egg cell or the particles which are present in between these cells. Okay, so this is about columnar and cuboidal cells. There is one more thing which are present in the cuboidal and columnar cell, and that is, you can write it in note. Some of the cuboidal and columnar cells have the property of secretion. They are specialized for the secretion. There, the columnar and cuboidal cells are named as glandular epithelium, because glands are involved in the secretion. So they are known as glandular epithelium. Okay? And this glandular epithelium cells are of two types. There are two bases to classify them. First basis is number of cells. These are the bases on which we classify the glandular epithelium. Number of cells. On the basis of number of cells, glandular epithelium are of two types. It may be made up of single cell, that is, it may be unicellular, and it may be multicellular. In case of unicellular, example is goblet cells. Goblet cells are present in the alimentary canal. It secretes the mucus. Actually, it is mucus secreting gland. And multicellular, it forms the duct of saliva, that is salivary gland. Salivary gland. In case of goblet cells, you can see this is the if I draw the digestive tract, at some places this is the epithelium part, and at some places the goblet cells are present. Actually, the goblet cell is like this. These are the simple epithelium cells, and at some places the cells becomes modified. and involved in the secretion of mucus. These unicellular mucus secreting cells are known as goblet cell. So goblet cells secrete the mucus, and mucus helps in lubrication of this tract, as well as in case of stomach, mucus also protect the stomach from the effect of HCl. Salivary gland, when I draw this salivary gland, this is the epithelium part, and at some places it combined, some cells are combined and they becomes they forms the salivary gland and they secrete the saliva. So here these columnar and cuboidal cells becomes modified to form the goblet cell or the salivary gland. The second basis of classify the glandular epithelium is mode of secretion. Mode of secretion. And on this basis, the glandular epithelium are classified into two. One is exocrine gland and another is endocrine gland. So the difference between the exocrine and the endocrine gland is exocrine gland and endocrine gland. Exocrine gland, the secretion of exocrine glands are maybe the mucus, maybe the saliva, its secretion may be milk, its secretion are the digestive juices, etc. But the secretion of endocrine glands is hormones. They secrete hormones. Exocrine gland pour their secretion through the ducts. So ducts are present here. But in case of endocrine gland, ducts are absent. So it is ductless gland. Ducts are absent. So they directly pour their secretion into the blood without any duct. They pour their secretion into the blood directly. In detail, in the last chapter we will discuss about these endocrine glands in detail. So this is about simple epithelium tissues. The next one is compound epithelium. Second category is compound epithelium tissues. Compound epithelium tissues. In case of compound or the complex epithelium tissues, what happened? As the name suggests, in case of simple, it is made up of single layer of cells, but in case of compound, it is made up of multiple layer of cells. This is the basement membrane, and on this basement membrane, there is 1, 2 or more layer of cells may be present, and the outermost may be the simple squamous epithelium also. So it is multi-layered. This type of epithelium is known as compound epithelium tissues, and as it is thick layer, so occurrence is means it is present. It forms the lining of the skin. Our skin is made up of compound epithelium cells. So the dry surface of skin is made up of compound epithelium cells. Along with that, in our buccal cavity is also made up of compound epithelium. So inner lining of buccal cavity, and in the pharynx, after the buccal cavity, pharynx is present, which is also formed by this compound epithelium. Okay, so these are the locations where this compound epithelium are present. And the function, you can determine the function. Dry surface of the skin, the main function is protection. It's a very limited function in case of absorption and secretion, but its main function is protection in case of skin. In all the part, the protection is the main function for the compound epithelium because it is very thick layer. Okay, so this is about the epithelium tissues. The one more thing which we have to know, that epithelium junctions. Epithelial junctions. Epithelial junctions. What it is? When we see any epithelium tissues like this, here I draw at distinct places, but actually the epithelial cells are present very close to each other. There is no any intercellular spaces because of these junctions. In case of epithelium, some intercellular material form these junctions. It is out of three types. First one is adhering junction. Adhering junction. Next one is gap junction. And third one is tight junctions. Tight junction. So just suppose these are the simple columnar cells, and simple columnar cells, and you know that it forms the lining of the stomach and intestine. So what happens if there is if this is the stomach part, it forms the lining of the stomach, and HCl is secreted over there. So this is HCl. If these epithelial cells are like this, then it maybe happens this HCl may come out in between these junctions and come outside. Here this HCl can destroy the other cells, so that these epithelium cells have tight junctions. The last category, tight junctions. Due to these tight junctions, they are present very close to each other like this. Due to some substances, it forms a junction like this. It is made by actin materials, so that they will present very close to each other. So this is tight junction, and it helps in prevention of leakage from the organs. So the function of the tight junction is prevent leakage. The second junction is gap junction. In case of gap junction, what happens? The two cells, if this cell is having some ions, some products which is required by this cell, so there are some junctions which helps in conduction. It means the cytoplasm of this cell is continue with this junction up to this cell, so that these ions or any substance can easily pass from one cell to another cell. So the gap junction helps in communication between the cells. It helps in communication. Gap junction helps in communication. This is the function. And the adhering junction. Adhering junction, actually it, what happens, the two cells, so that can just tied with each other. So it acts as a cementing layer, just like a hook. Just like a hook, so that all the epithelial cells get held with each other, so that this adhering junction is formed in between the cells. It is like the hook. You can see this is like the hook. So due to the adhering junction, what happens? The cells, it help in held the cells with each other. Okay, so this is the epithelial junctions: tight junctions, gap junctions, and adhering junction. I think you have understand all the things. Okay, so today I have talked about the epithelial tissues. It is of two category. One is simple and second is compound. In simple, we have learned about the simple squamous epithelium, simple cuboidal epithelium, and columnar epithelium. After that, we have seen the compound epithelium, and the last part is epithelial junction. The next category of the animal tissue is muscular and neurons, and as well as the connective tissues. So in the next lecture, we will talk about the connective tissues. Okay, thank you class.